Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to EU4 Third Odyssey. We are starting pretty well right where we left off after just having completed the mission, A True Nation, opening up the rest of our tree, just having finished up some conquests coming into the American South against the natives, and truly just as the game starts to open up. Just a couple of housekeeping things. There will not be as much in-depth reading with this one as I am ill and you don't want to listen to me cough like I have typhoid. As such, I'll give you a chance to read them. I'll give you a quick countdown, then we'll move on to the next one. With all that aside, though, welcome back and let's jump right on in. Well, the tribes down in what area is this? The Georgia, Carolinas, kind of South Appalachian Mountain regions. Well, they're behind us on tech because we are Miltech 7 and they're mostly Miltech 3 or 4. We're going to basically take advantage of this and spread as fast as possible. So we're going to open by decking on Jora, which will bring in Iota and the Chiska people and feed this away basically as fast as possible to our vassals. All right, beautiful. From the Chiska people, we're going to give their land over to the Chiha people. From the Iwata people, we are going to give their land over to the Cherokee. Once we get our diplomat back, and we will take Jora for ourselves, and immediately go in on the Chusa people. Just like that. And again, do a quick little bit of cleanup. And again, we give the Okut of the Altama people to Cherokee. We will take Kashkitha for ourselves. I'm sorry, we can't core it. We're going to give it to the Cherokee. And we will give Kusa to the Chahina people. And as soon as we can actually get maps, we'll continue our push. Just like that, we're going to march in against the Tishi people. We'll give the Kawada land over to the Cherokee. After we take their money, we will give the Achisi land also over to the Cherokee. I'm sure that this is going to create two very stable nations in the south that won't be plagued by revolts or anything. And beautiful, because we have brought so much peace and freedom. We've completed standardized the currency. If you want to read the description of the mission, it is right there. It is going to cause us to lose 5 inflation, and because we own this province, it will begin to produce gold, which will give it some base production. Let me just, it is unfortunately at 100 autonomy, but we'll deal with that in the future. That's going to be our way the government actually breaks even for a while. Beautiful. So as you can see here, I was just putting some dev clicks into Pythagora, and it was a favorable trade location, and now it has grown up to being a level 1 trade zone. So again, really fun thing you can do to actually like increase the value of your land by looking inward. Just got to give it a couple clicks. Some are easier to do than others. Like Pythagora was just 2 clicks away. Obviously, ones that are 5 and 6 that are a little bit more intensive, but really cool, really cool. Makes it feel a bit more alive in the new world. Okay, one thing I also want to do before it becomes a problem is choke out the Onondaga, or what will become the Iroquois Confederation. Now, they are quite powerful, leading a large federation right on the edge of Lake Ontario. So we're just going to hit their ally of, what are you? Wampanoag? And we're going to call in all of our allies, including Finland, basically to just hit them over the head really hard. So this is going to be quite a large war, but it should be a matter of, well, they're all Miltech 4 and we're on Miltech 8, so the numbers shouldn't make that much of a difference, and even still, we do have the manpower. See, I don't actually know how the 17k stack got down on my capital. There must not be control or zones of control projected over uncolonized land, so I really do have to fill in uh, the gaps in the line because I might lose that siege race now that they've busted open the walls, which is slightly concerning. Alrighty, let's go in for a slightly pointless but very decisive battle on the capital. Where, yeah, we oof, that was rough. All right, beautiful. So we have beaten the Onondaga and the Iroquois Confederation as a whole. Um, I am going to try vassalizing them. I don't think it will give me control of the entire Iroquois Confederation, but I think it will be. Well, there's a chance it does, and I'm willing to take that risk. We're also going to steal 35 ducats. Oh, and I can attach insults just because we're rude like that. Well, so let's see here. That makes you my vassal. Okay, it did kick them out of the Confederation, right? Yes, it made the Mohawk the leader. Unfortunate, but oh well. We stole the most valuable member. Hopefully, this stops the Iroquois from forming entirely. As for Wampanoag, we just got to clean up a little bit more. Beautiful. And from Wampanoag, we're going to. I'm so sorry, I just pronounced that wrong. Wampanoag. Okay, that's even worse. From this native group, we're going to take their land and their money as well and send them on their merry way. Oh, and we also get to do a debate. It's not quite time to attempt the Albanian integration. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's try and attempt to integrate the Albanians. This is very intensive on the legitimacy. However, essentially, a very small chance to work, and I don't think we get told right away, but it may make the Albanians more culturally like us, although I don't think it worked out because I think we would have gotten a pop up. Yeah, yeah, and they are still upset. Alrighty, what a shame. Beautiful. No, this is the event I was waiting for integrating the Albanians. If you want to read it, please go ahead. But either we can say, no, we don't want to, or we can spend a bit of money and make the effort. And it's a percentage chance it pays off. If you continuously fail, I believe the percentage gets better. So let's try with the 60% chance. And I believe we failed. Yes. Yes, we did fail. That's unfortunate. So that's going to be a loan for us, but simple solution to that is just going to ask the merchants for one. Just that easy. Yes, and this is possibly one of the most unique things in this mod. If you want to read it, we essentially are starting to culturally assimilate the natives. So instead of them being recognized in this case as the Padawan, they will flip over to being something called the Semiochi, which is like a half synthesized, half integrated group of people. Uh, it also, let me just check here. Yes, it now reads as the Sumeochi. It also changes the privileges for the Barbary. So instead of just sticking with Divide et Impera, which damages them, it actually becomes useful for the Pax Romana. But yeah, it's a very one of the most unique things about the mod, and I'm sure we will see more unique culture events from the mod. Cough, cough. And let's see if we get any luckier with the Albanians this time. Oh, oh yes, we actually did. So yeah, now the Albanian have been assimilated into the Arbaniati, which I'm not going to pretend to say I know what that means, but it does kind of change their modifiers a bit and brings them into the culture group. So luckily, they're a little less upset, which is for the better. Damn. Okay, so I failed to cut off the Varangians. Or the Vinlanders. That's gonna be a problem. They're gonna like creep all the way into Canada now. I don't know how I'm going to cut them off, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to cut them off. This is gonna get kind of messy. Oh well, nothing I can do in the meantime. Hopefully they just worry about colonizing this and don't spread too far to the west, but that's gross. That's really gross. Ah, and Vinland is going in against my ally of Oshiga, which I don't think I can fight Vinland right now, considering they outnumber me, even with all my friends. but this would be a chance to put them in their place. Oh, what do I do? You know what? Let's gamble. Yeah, I'm gonna join you, Ashiga. We're gonna stand against the Vikings together, and we're gonna hopefully push back against Finland. Okay, well, we've held the naval war. The real question is if we can beat them on the ground war. Oh, wait a second, I have an idea. If I take my mercenary army here and run all the way down to Perk, I might be able to seize it, as it's a Vinlandic colony. Yeah, let me try this. See, if I seize their colony, beautiful, now it's mine. And I'm actually gonna finish colonizing it. Perfect, and I did manage to lower the administrative burden enough so that we get the extra bonus from reform the administration, where we get reduced monthly autonomy change, or extra monthly autonomy change, and cheaper colonies. Now we actually get some colonial range, extra global settler increase, and the ability to build a new Alexandrian library. Again, if you want to read this, feel free to do so. As for the cultural drift, this is essentially telling us how we are different. We are starting to lose our identity as Romans and becoming something different. So you can see our new culture is Romaic. And yeah, it's very interesting. We're changing as a people, and the idea of what a Romania is changing with us. But back to the Vinland War. That's fun. Our little vassals in Bermuda have turned blue and moved their capital to where? Uh, the Dominican Republic side of Haiti. So that's good. I'm glad. I hope that they actually have a nice time there instead of starving on Bermuda. Yep, due to just a momentary slip, we have managed to make it across, and that means that we are going to burn down your capital. There's nothing you can do about it, my friend. Gosh, David, I was planning on killing this kid, but the war got in the way of me excommunicating him, or sorry, disinheriting him, and that sucks. This kid's an idiot. Um, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to throw them into the ocean a different way. Beautiful. So the Oshega did peace out for me, but essentially we got 100 ducats or 110 ducats out of Finland, and that's it. But more importantly, we got this land, which blocked them from getting past our little wall with the Oshega, and eventually, hopefully, we will be able to diplo-vassalize the Oshega. All right, it's time for our next foray into aggression. So we're gonna open up by decking on the Arica directly, and that's gonna draw us into fire with the Choctaw and the Miami people. I believe. No. Okay. We might only be able to get one tile out of this, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Alrighty, from the Choctaw people, we're just gonna steal 20 ducats. They're not worth that much. And from the Amica people, we are just going to seize their land, give it over to. Oh, I can take it for myself? Yeah, let's do that. I'll take it for myself and use it as a way to start justifying wars. Also, just going to do a quick cleanup war against the Penokowski in Maine. Okay, beautiful. And after doing a little bit of deving in the Bahamas, we can complete the mission Imperial Silk. That is going to give us a better silk quarter. The Bahamas are going to now produce Elysian silk, and it will rename it to the Silken Seas. And there's a whole silk production mechanic through the trade interface. So let's go see what that does. I believe it's here. Yes. So as we upgrade and expand and do certain missions, our silk will become more and more valuable, and I believe we can spread the production of the silk in turn. So first and most importantly, we need to get up to having 20 light ships. Then we need to build up our capital, um, and do a couple other things like that to increase both the price of our silk and the where we can put it, which is fantastic. Also, the Bahamas now makes our Elysian silk. All right, beautiful, and we will seize the Pentecost people's land and do as Romans do, which is core it and figure it out later. Because we're the good guys. It's amazing. Historically, the good guys always win, and we just keep on winning. Alrighty, we also will now go in on the Atatachi in what I believe is Mobile, Alabama. Okay, beautiful. We swept through the indigenous very quickly and are cleaning up around here. Another major thing that we're going to do is we are going to commence the Great Voyage. What this will do is it will send an explorer to go and rediscover Europe for us. It will take 3 years, so he should be back sometime in the late 1518s. And the consequences of this are, well, we're going to essentially reveal ourselves to Europe, which will also mean Europe will start to come on over. Now, we need that because European innovations, or institutions, or old world institutions like the Renaissance and the printing press, won't spread over unless I do this, and I do desperately need colonialism. Okay, and one other thing we're going to do is we are actually going to establish the High Priesthood of Hellenism, which is going to give us more missionary strength, make our missionaries a bit cheaper, give one of our provinces a seat with the High Priesthood, and let us send out heralds to specific nations, such as I want Oshega to convert over to my religion, as if they were my religion, it would be easier to vassalize them. So if I dispatch herald, hopefully, hopefully, they like me, so they should be willing to be pliable. Although the fact they haven't flipped kind of concerns me. Oh, and we have the absolute idiot heir on the throne now. I have to figure out how to get her fed to 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 something. She's got to die. But more importantly, it also means that we now get access to god festivals, which are incredibly powerful because they let you improve your skills. So you take 2 years of monthly atomic change and stability cost, and in return, you get improved mill or admin skill. And that depends on whatever god you're dedicated to at the time. But very, very fun. Also, oh, they welcomed them, which means one of their provinces converted, but they didn't flip. Shame. Oh, and this is also a fun choice. We can choose to expand the pantheon to include some of the totemist gods, I believe. Or we could, which would make us a very tolerant of heretics, solid and the heathen, a much more tolerant faith. And let's see here. We do have a positive religious tolerance, which really wouldn't be that bad of a deal. Or I could go full on zealous. And as much as I would love to be hyper zealous, I will expand the pantheon as the tolerance of heretics will help encourage the actual Romanization of the people, where uh, it is affected by their inclusion. Right? Am I losing my mind? Yes, we need to have at least zero tolerance or more than zero tolerance, which we do. Okay, and beautiful. We just managed to integrate the Cherokee, which they had all of this land already cored, which is fantastic. Oh wow. Okay. Um, what the hell? So first things first, we are going to make Pythias just be an admiral. I really, well, half off. Can we afford him as a... Not really. He'll just be an admiral. Um, and as we look into Europe, what the hell has happened? There is a massive France that has eaten up all of Castile. Aragon lives. Portugal is having the game of its life, kind of, allied to both Britain and France. Okay. Great Britain is formed. Sweden got the Burgundian inheritance. Protestant Reformation is fully underway. The Ottomans are, of course, actually going off. Who's the Emperor of the HRE? Not Austria, that's who. What? Denmark is in Stolp? And did the PLC happen? Yes, okay. Well, that's a look. So we can see Europe again. Let me just... And everybody's gonna hate me. What happened to Hungary? Why is Lithuania... I'm sorry, wait a second. Oh, no, it's not a Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. It's a Lithuanian-Polish Commonwealth. Oh. And where do we fit into all this? We're somehow bigger than Aragon, but yeah, well, there's a mega France. That France is absolutely horrifying. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Gonna make sure that none of them can get on over and say hi. Do any of them have beautiful, and you can see that everybody is very upset that we lied to the Portuguese in our flight. Um, Everybody has, of course, fallen far behind, and any chance of a friendship with Portugal is so deep in the toilet, it's not even worth thinking about. I need to try and find some people who want to be friends. And yes, this event is just saying that European colonists are soon to come over, as well as the Elysian exchange. That's going to make some of the things we have just a little bit less valuable. Um, but hey, at least we'll get colonialism. I'm assuming we have a chance for colonialism to spread now. Yes, considering it has already spawned in the Netherlands, I believe so. All right, well, despite discovering Europe again and the consequences of my actions, it's time to start going in on the native still. So we're going to deck on the Ankili people and the Keski and just keep cleaning up. We're all the way down into like Louisiana at this rate, so we're getting pretty deep uh into America at this rate. About to cross the Mississippi. If this is the Mississippi, I believe, right? Pretty sure. Also, a very interesting event where the Spartans, who have currently cleaned up most of Mexico, from what I can see, uh, have declared themselves a new religion, apparently, which is a kind of mix between the old gods, the old Hellenic gods, and the bloodthirsty Aztec gods. So I'm sure that this is fine and will have no consequences at all, and that Aztlan is just a passing fad. And just like that, we clean up the war against Ilico, uh, take all the provinces, take all the land, and move on to the next one. I think we're going to go against the Mohawk next. Alrighty, and now we're going to go and run down the Mohawk people. The goal is to take basically the entire Confederation's land, if possible. Wonderful. And we've also just gotten to big events. The Spartans did convert over to being Aztlan, which means they are now heretics and just awful people in general. Oh, they also have an Aztlan Center of Reformation. Fantastic. What does their... Yes, there's the definition of the religion if you want to read it. And we also have the opportunity to deify our emperors. This gives us a medley of better missionary strength, prestige decay, and yearly legitimacy, as well as, our emperors become gods. Or we could refuse deification, which would make the faith stronger, or we could say, I can't afford to become a god right now, which is what I'm going to do, because it costs 400 ducats, and I'm slightly in debt. But eventually I would like to style myself as a god. And another major thing, while we're at war, we have discovered Cahokia. Well, I mean, it is based on the massive former city that was known as Cahokia, but it is the largest native poly and something that might actually give us some pushback. So they are in like the Illinois region, right? Because Chicago's right there. So yeah, they're roughly there, um, and essentially span a wall blocking the Midwest from the West. So we'll have to ingratiate ourselves to them at some point. All right, wonderful. From the Susquehannock people, we are going to take their money and their land. And from the Mohawk tribe, we are also going to give over most of the land, except Seneca, which got sieged down by the Osage, and they were not willing to hand it over. So the Seneca people will go free. The rest we give over to the Onondaga. Another really neat event is choosing the protector god of our capital, Nea Constantinopolis. We have the choice between Ares, the god of war, um, or Poseidon, the god of sea. Varying bonuses will let Ares gives us some local manpower, prestige from land battles, and land leaders without upkeep. Poseidon gives us morale of navies, local sailors, and navy leaders without upkeep. Or we could choose not to. I'm actually going to choose to take Poseidon early just because it gives us that nice free stab right off the bat for one loan isn't too bad. And we're going to need that navy morale if we ever do plan on making it back to Europe. Alrighty, and we have to continue our push west just to make sure that we can get over to this kind of weird looking coast that for some reason we can see for no specific reason. And we also have gotten a new event about European trade ventures. If you wish to read the flavor text, it's right there. But we can choose to either be protectionist, which will kind of be the middle of the road option, giving us production efficiency and embargo efficiency. Free trade, which would, how do I say this? It would be interesting, but I'm not sure I want to do it. um, or isolationist, which is also the other extreme, which I think also could be interesting, but again, not something I want to do. So we're going to go middle of the road and go protectionist, which will keep our market safe, but make sure that we still get access to European innovations, like the printing press and all that, which certainly is important. And, you know, plus 15% production efficiency is absolutely wild. You know, I can't guarantee that the AI will do this, but there's a chance that the Ottomans get the Islet of Egypt, and that is horrifying. So I really hope that the Ottomans aren't smart enough to pull that off. But if they do, I'm gonna have like 100,000 Turks to cut my way through. In other news, we do get these really fun and busted events where we get access to really good generals, like this hero amongst men, who gives us essentially the mythical general of Odysseus, a 5-2-3-4, and he loses his war exhaustion and gains his army tradition. Truly a master of making war. Now, against Wichita, we're going to take them on as a vassal. And against the Nechiketans, we're going to take all of their land and all of their ducats. Beautiful. And that's roughly the edge of what we can do through conquest. The rest is going to have to be colonization. Okay, I took a very mild risk. Somehow Oshega had gotten a core on this province, and we couldn't diplo-vassalize them because of it. So I did just renounce them the core, and now I'm going to diplo-vassalize them, and so we will have a genuine northern border against the Vinlandic. I don't want to say threat. They're not a threat, but, well, they do outnumber me and have better tech. So yeah, they are kind of threatening, and have 41,000 manpower. Shit. And have a bigger navy. Well, Vinland is like just doing better than me in every way at the moment. That's kind of horrifying. I wonder how they got so much further ahead. I wonder what their secret is. Also, we've now built enough trade fleets that we can do the first price bump to the Elysian silk, uh, just like that. Next up, we just need to dove the heck out of Elysia. We have also expanded the silk quarter, which will make it produce even more and make the silk a whole ducat more valuable. Now, obviously, we get to that awkward part where we actually have to start building great wonders to do that. But just for reference, our balance went up, I think, by a full 4 ducats by doing that. Yeah, we went from, or two, oh, no, 4 ducats. Yeah, that's how valuable Elysian silk is. I should have been deving Elysia more. That's on me. And expanding infrastructure, shoot. Oh, and do you see that? The first sign that the world's going to shit. The Dutch have shown up on St. Martin. Well, at least they showed up in the right place. But yeah, that's going to be an ongoing issue now. Europeans are coming, and there's not much I can do to stop them. So it's time to start building up a heavy fleet and and being concerned about pushing back the tide of the unwashed, unenlightened masses of Europe. I so desperately need our heir to get in power so I can get this lady off the throne. Our heir may only be average, like remarkably average, but this lady is kneecapping our ability to progress entirely. It's abysmal. Um, I am stuck generating like 4 points. Beautiful, and now we're going to actually spend the money to upgrade the first of the great projects that we have access to, as we have access to many. The Alexandrian Library, it will cost 200 gold, 50 of each point, but it will give us 30% institution spread, minus 5% advisor cost, minus plus 10% institution spread. Cool. Uh, and it's cheaper to build, yeah. But it will get better to eventually give us tech cost reduction, and institution spread for the whole area and whole country. So, quite valuable. It will only take 2 years to build. And I would like to go around and actually start investing in all the other ones around the capital too. In fact, yeah, this is what selling ground land is for. Lay down the Grand Corinth and the Hippodrome and truly start to build up the wonders of Elysia. It is incredibly concerning to me that I'm seeing British boats now off the eastern seaboard. Uh, that implies that there's British colonists coming, and I don't want that. I'm willing to lose like Florida, but I want to seal up the south here, and I want to seal up like what is this? Is this Massachusetts? There's something here. This is staunchly New England, but yeah, I'd like to plug as many holes in the right and try and close up the Gulf of Mexico, and then start running west as fast as I can. So I was just scanning the fog of war to the south here, and I noticed a certain teal green from somewhere. So something tells me Portugal's already in Arcadia all throughout the. Also because the fact that they have a reasonable amount of control in the Cycladian Isles, something tells me they're there, which is unfortunate. But that means that our unlimited amount of time is really running out, and I really do need to get some colonists down on these open provinces that I don't want to lose access to, and maybe rush down like what would you call this? Like the Mexican coast, the Texan coast, uh, Houston. We have touchdown. Oh, that's fun. Our Varangian order finally has actually integrated to become something besides just Norse. They are now uh, Varangiar, which is like a melt culture, like the Somayachi becoming Romantic. That's cool. Also, to continue the warpath, we are going to be going in on Cahokia now that we've prepared. They're starting to close the gap in tech, as in they're already up to Miltech 7, and I can't have that, so we're going to just squish this out now before it becomes an issue. And the French have arrived in Florida. Oh boy, did they just fully colonize it? No, but they are coming. So I am going to leave the Florida to the French to try and once they fully colonize it, maybe conquer the colonial nation. I do just want to make sure nobody gets up into New England though, because that's some border war I can't sustain. Not that the country looks beautiful right now. I'm not gonna lie. We're kind of like yeah, it's ugly. I'll give you that. Alrighty, against the, and forgive me, I'm going to cannibalize this. Against the quiz people, we are going to take their land of Yazoo and 25 ducats, and that just really leaves Cahokia and their little Hoga over here. Alright, beautiful, and Cahokia is defeated. We will take 25 ducats and all of their land. Some of this is colonies which we cannot afford to sustain, so we'll abandon this colony here. The rest are mine. Yes, fantastic. And just like that, we have expanded very aggressively, and essentially have like the important half of America. I mean, of Elysia, of course. But yeah, pretty well. And we can almost encircle this and just move on. Uh, And this definitely gives us a good start to like colonizing out west. Also, due to how many provinces we just conquered that control a temple, we can now reform the Hellenic faith. Apparently, I didn't even realize that. Um, oh, geez. And this gives us the option to choose a primary god to focus on, which will change how the pantheon is displayed. Just a quick look at them. I think Apollo is the best. It gives us access to a Artemis, who gives us shock damage and movement speed bonuses. Uh, and Perseus, who gives us core creation cost bonuses, and Orpheus, that gives us access to Diplo annexation costs. That seems incredibly powerful. If you want to read the other ones, there you are. Feel free to pause and do so. Or we could favor none of them, but I don't think I want to favor none of them. I think I want to favor or worship Apollo. Yeah, that's a shame that we still only have one missionary, but hey, we're working on it, right? The Hellenic faith is not a strong institution yet. Beautiful. And now that most of our great wonders have been finished, the Grand Corinth, Alexandrian Library, and the Hippodrome, we can complete the wonders of Elysium. If you want to read it, there it is. And this gives us expert architects, which is minus 20% construction time for the end of the game. One of each base dev in the Elysian area, which is really strong, and some splendor, which is fantastic. Ah, yes, and possibly the greatest thing about building up the Hippodrome, we unlock gambling, and I am a staunch member of the blue team. And the blue team, of course, will win for me. And that's how this goes every time. It's double or nothing, and somehow I always lose. But I'm still going to be betting on the blue team. I am so not paying the toll throwing this lady into the ocean. Like the fact that I can't even make her general to get her killed is so unfortunate. So she's just stuck there, giving shit points. Okay, and now that my son has actually reached the necessary age, we are going to abdicate. This is going to be quite expensive on the legitimacy and the prestige, but she's just so awful, and the stability. And a 3-3-3 is better by so much. Okay, so Vinland did start colonizing there, and on the one hand, I'm very upset that Vinland started colonizing there because that's some border gore. But on the other hand, I'd rather it be Vinland than some random European power. So I'm gonna let it slide for the minute before we go and burn them down. We'll deal with it when we get there. Uh, that does mean though that I can focus my efforts elsewhere. Like if I'm gonna leave this open, as it is a pretty decent colonial range, like I'll probably pick up the south of Andronica here, and then try and fill in Mexico while rushing west as well. Ah, okay, and the Portuguese have beat me to Texas. So yeah, I'm gonna let the Portuguese, just like the French, expand in that area. I'm just gonna focus on cleaning up my home zone a little bit and rushing to the west coast, because yeah, it's gonna be a couple bits of colonization to get there. I wonder maybe if it's faster to go to BC and then work my way down. Alrighty, we're gonna go in on the Lakota people to seize their land and do as Romans do. Alrighty, beautiful. So to the Lakota people, we are gonna take their land, and the Sioux, we are gonna make them a vassal so we can feed them some of the land around here eventually. It's just not worth coring it all right away. We got things that we need our admin points for. As soon as I have a diplomat, we'll send our peace. Beautiful. And once this is finished colonizing, we'll move on to the next one. Alrighty, and we start our next colonial war against the Ettengawan. This is essentially going to be against all of the Algonquin people, Ontarian people. We're just going to go and clean up basically all of southern Ontario. And we have made it all the way up to Aventech 10, which means we get to pick a new idea slot. I have a couple ideas for what I would like to do. Expansion comes to mind. Seems very pertinent for the amount of colonialism we really should be doing, and minimum autonomy in territories because just how wide we're going. Um, Trade also seems like it could be interesting because we're going to just be able to make such a stupid amount of money. Now, I think we can make some stupid amount of money without trade either way. So it's just like an extra stupid amount of money. Oh, and it would give us settler chance. No, no, we're going to go expansion, even though it's an admin. So it's going to be really difficult for us to get enough points to do it. We're going to go expansion just because the minimum autonomy in territories is so powerful, and we'll be able to colonize hopefully really quickly and spread as need be. If it does end up, stopping being useful at some point, we can always switch it out for probably another military one. Let's be honest. Oh, and Aragon's getting sandwiched by the French. So because we have also hit Aventech 10, we do have the choice at will to switch from development ideas to full exploration ideas. Not going to do that. Not doing global colonization just yet, but certainly something we can do. We're still very much looking at this fresh virgin continent right for the picking. I just have to figure out how exactly to get it to be mine, all mine. Not that we don't have enough going on over in the east, but we're also going to deck against the Cheyenne, Nawake, Anishinaabe, and the Wichayana. Just to feed it all over to the Sioux, as wanna start to clean up the Great Plains. Yeah, we're coming into the Great Plains. I'm not sure if Winnipeg is in the Great Plains, but it's certainly not someplace I'd want to be. Beautiful. So in southern Ontario, or they have capitulated, so we're going to take all of the land and their money, which we're not quite connected because of Seneca, but we're more or less all put together. We're then almost immediately going to go in on the Ojibwe in their little union right here. Although that does mean by cleaning up the native groups there, we've basically cemented the entire Midwest as a colonial pocket for us that we just have to, we can take our time in getting to and keep worrying about rushing west. Beautiful. And as you can see, the Sioux are much bigger and better, and I definitely didn't have to run all around the American South chasing a 10k stack of natives who managed to cause a minor annoyance. And we continue our relentless push westward by going in on the... I don't know how to pronounce that, so we're just going to deck on them, as well as the Blackfoot. Oh, neat. You don't normally see this, but Britain's actually doing Anglicanism. We'll see if they stick to it. But, yeah, the Reformation's actually going pretty... The Reformation's actually going pretty hard. You can even see, like, Granada's somehow managed to hold on. Oh, they're being propped up by the Ottomans. Okay. And I guess with a dead Castile. How did you do that, Portugal? I have so many questions. In other news, from the Blackfoot, we will take their money and their independence. May as well force the religion on them, too. And from the people who I respectfully cannot pronounce their name, we will take their land. You know, the large amount of Frenchmen on my borders with guns is slightly concerning to me. Because if they decked on me, I really don't know what I could do about it. Because they're up tech. They're up manpower. I mean, France is the global power. So I just kind of have to hope that they don't. Oh, baby, you know we're betting on blue. Yeah, every bet's a winner. Come on. Okay, that's kind of funny. I didn't get a pop-up. I just saw, because I left the Seneca to their own devices, it seems they were forced to form the Haudenosaunee. Uh, and as such, I believe with it, they've started expanding somewhat rapidly. Okay, not that rapidly, but they are more or less going to fill in this middle section for me slowly, so I don't actually have to bother colonizing it. I'm gonna kind of leave them like a little snack, kind of like what I'm leaving the Hoga people, who are also expanding on my behalf. And maybe if I'm lucky, folks like the Blackfoot and Wichita will help me too. I guess I could get out into like the New Mexico region and do some preemptive conquest. And from the Pawnee, we are going to make them a vassal and take all their money. And the Hoga are going to have the privilege of being integrated directly into the Roman state once we have a diplomat. Yes, perfect. But we're not finishing your colonies. Beautiful. And now we're actually going to annex the Wichita and use that to try and jump over to the west coast faster than our more northern expedition. I just really appreciate the fact that we've left Ohio as essentially one large native territory, mostly because there's nothing good in Ohio. Uh, I mean, really, just look at the development. No, but if you're in Ohio, screw you specifically. That's all. Beautiful. And we have finally made it to a new age. By what did it take to get there? I don't know, but it is going to give us +1 colonist, more global settler, and colonial range. And if we do form colonial nations, we can now integrate them, so long as we have a direct land border. We also get the Birth of Elysium event, Old World armies, and a bunch of bonuses compared to being a settler nation. Now, I'm actually going to read this because this is very important. It is going to act as a fork in the road for us. The birth of Elysianism. Romans no longer cry laborers in the streets. Romans no longer rate scholars in coastal villas. Romans no longer say priests in mountain hideaways. We have been separated from our homeland for decades now, and nobody alive can remember the time when our nation sat astride the crossroads of Europe and Asia. This has made the hearts of men wander far from homes they never knew, and gravitate to the hearths they grew up in. What do men who have nothing beyond Elysium care for the name Roman, which has been perverted by every institution in Europe? What do men who grew up in the verdant hills and shores of the West care for the decaying East, so full of strife? The men who call themselves Elysian, rather than Roman, do not care at all for the corpse of an empire left behind. Better to cultivate this green and pleasant land, they say, than to go back to the land across the sea our ancestors were once driven out of at the tip of a sword. Or perhaps even venture to the shores even further west, this time as conquerors, not as refugees. Of course, there are many who rail against this. Some men have pride in their heritage, some have vengeance burning in their hearts, and some see it as their duty, as the last of the Romans, to return to their ancestral homeland and put it to rights. Some men have nothing left except their identity as citizens of the Roman Empire and refuse to give that up. Some simply do not want to abandon a heritage over 20 centuries old. Roman or Elysian, the Archon Basilius must decide which one we are. Which gives us the choice between two major options. Either we can embrace being an Elysian, which is essentially saying, fuck it, we're becoming American. This will change us to Elysia, make our primary culture Elysian, um, and we will so an embrace Elysium essentially will set us down the green path, looking inwards in the promised land and all that, at the cost of turning off assemble a invasion force, which essentially would be sending us back to um, to Europe, which means that we also have the option for us begin the invasion effort, uh, which among many things would basically give us a invasion CB on somebody in Europe. And that leaves us with a major choice. Interesting. So, because we have completed a new age and got the birth of Elysianism to happen, we also get Old World armies, which is showing us that our current native warband form of army is not up to snuff. The conscripting native warriors is not up to snuff. So, we have three options on how to change. We can basically become a frontier army using cavalry. We can reform the theme system, which will give us some settler increases, but not actually much in the way of army increases. Or we can invest in firearms pretty well, which gives us siege ability, land fire damage, shock damage received, makes our military advisor slightly more expensive, and makes our land maintenance slightly more expensive. This is you gotta take the shock bonus. There's no way around that. That's just awesome. Uh, I just realized our nation is like a really ugly shape. Like, that's awful. That's downright terrible.
I also think after some heavy personal reflection that we will be doing embrace Elysianism, which is a shame because it means we're not going back for Rome yet. But we have this bountiful new world set out for us, and I would be ashamed to not pillage it for all it's worth and to put it to full use. If I let other people get over here, really, it'd be a shame. So we will no longer be Romania. No. Today, we will be Elysia, which downright gorgeous. We also eventually will be able to rekindle the invasion effort, but more importantly, this does lock us down the green path for the moment. Don't worry though. In a little bit we will get to that. Oh, buddy, we're putting it all on the blue team, and I really hope we win because I'm out of money. But they're gonna win. My blue boys would never let me down. Once I send a colonist off, come on, blue, all in on blue. That's right. Never a moment of doubt. We always win. Always gamble. Do not take this as financial advice. And we go in on the Shoshone people as well as the Comanche for their sweet, sweet province. And we're going to open by making the Comanche a vassal, as we do with pretty well everyone we can't immediately annex. And the Shoshone, we are going to full annex them and take their 20 ducats. Because we desperately need those 20 ducats, don't you know? Beautiful, and we have now completed our place in the sun, which means we get 20 prestige, and we get a permanent casus belli against the overseas nations on the continent of Elysium, as well as the claim colonial region peace deal option, which is a special peace deal option, and a permanent claim on the Cycladian Islands as well. And that leaves us with two options, or two new missions. We have Elysian Hegemony, which when we do eventually become a hegemon, we will be able to choose a second of our special paths. And beyond the Appalachians, which once we finish the Appalachian pathways, which requires this, we can essentially build highways in specific provinces to make transport faster. Essentially, we're building highways, right? Like where I believe traditional American interstates are. And we can build them pretty well wherever we want. One goes through roughly the Ohio region, and there's a southern option as well, going through the more mountainous section. I have a stupid idea. I think I could go head to head against Portugal. And the reason that's a stupid idea is because it's not just Portugal. It would be Portugal and France. And France is the great power of the world. We're second. However, France has the best tech, the biggest armies, and we are an upstart colonial nation that are pretenders to a great heritage. But they're both on my borders, and they are both pissing me off with all of their colonies. But I don't think they can get over in large enough quantities to give me any trouble. So I think I'm going to try it. I think I'm going to spit in the face of nations that are supposed to be too big for me to fight and improve to the world that Elysia is a true nation, not just some rabble, colonial rabble claiming to the edge of a continent, that we are true descendants of Rome. Yeah, yeah, I believe that. Totally. Oh, nice. And we've also just got a new trade location. Sweet. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna assemble the army and we're gonna get ready to fight the European powers. So I do believe my best chances are if I deck on Portugal directly, while making French co-belligerent because none of their allies realistically have enough navy to get over here besides France and Portugal. And I have a very competent and very large fleet of 14 heavy ships and 32 light ships with a couple transports sprinkled in there. And I should be able to overrun their colonial garrison. It's just a matter of keeping them off the coast. So, without further ado, let's throw our hat in the ring, deck on Portugal, make France co-belligerent, and claim Elysia, Aish, as our place in the sun. Immediately gonna run down the French land because that's what actually scares me here. Now, one other thing that could go wrong is the Vinlandic could deck on me while I'm distracted in the south. There's nothing I can do about that if they do. And while this is all going on, I basically have to be micromanaging my fleet and sinking all of the transports that I possibly can come across. And while this very calm and well negotiated colonial war between the French and myself, or the French, Portuguese, and myself go on, I'm also going to deck on the Isleta people to acquire more of their land. Because again, while this is all going on, remember, we're the good guys. Oh boy. And Vinland just decked on the Varangian Order, meaning that while we're also dealing with all of this, we're now at war with Vinland as well. That might actually complicate things because I just realized I'm out of manpower. Piss. Well, hopefully we'll save it. Certainly, there's nothing is going wrong. Against the Isleta people. Oh, sorry, no. Against the okay. Oh, I'm not gonna try. Against this indigenous group, we're just gonna take their province and their money and send them on their way. I have other things I have to worry about right now. And I'm gonna rush north to try and staunch the Viking tide. Because oh boy, that's a problem I needed right now. And this is what I meant when I said never to trust the Vinlanders. Like how they'll turn their back on you and stab you in the back whenever they get a chance. And look at what they did. As soon as I was looking towards Europe, they decided to hit me over the head. They thought they'd get the better of me, but no. No, we're gonna fight to the last man. We're gonna put them back in the ground. It's just gonna be a real pain in the butt of a fight because they don't outnumber me, but they outquality me. Alrighty, so we just caught the Vinlandic, and when we actually get them in a fight, we smoke them pretty good. It's just a matter of playing whack-a-mole with them all. And while we're in the middle of this, very calm and restful war where nothing extreme is happening, we're going to pick our tier 6 gov reform. We have the option for imperial decree, which gives us absolutism, aristocratic privilege, which gives us diplo rep, improved relations, and favor growth, and general estates, which gives us reform, progress, growth, loyalty equilibrium, or state loyalty equilibrium, and estate influence. We're going to take general states just for the time being for the reform growth, and then eventually swip off probably to imperial degree once absolutism becomes an option. But may as well take advantage of the growth while we have it. Again, these sieges are just taking so long, even with competent cannon stacks and a full navy sitting outside. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, and the French are back. All right, so the Portuguese are willing to come to terms. Unfortunately, they're not willing to give me anything more than just the land, but just the land is what I need. So we're going to take all of the French land in Florida, all of the Portuguese land in Mexico. There are still Portuguese colonies in at least Colombia, as well as they have something in the Lesser Antilles. But that is a problem for later me. For now, I get to close off basically all of the East Coast, besides what is that, like Alabama? Is that Alabama or Missouri? I am in misery. No, that's of course Nisepwes. Forgive me, my medieval Greek is not up to date. But yes, so we've closed off the East Coast, although it does open up a border with Spartania. And we are, of course, continuing our march towards the west. Alrighty, and for Vinland, we are going to peace out, taking most of their Western Ontario lands, Northern Ontario lands, and this little bit of what would be Quebec. As much money as they're willing to give us. this little piece of, I believe, what would be Massachusetts. Um, we're leaving them intentionally with this province, as hopefully they will colonize into this instead of northern Canada before I can get colonies up there. And all in all, I just want to be done with this war, as I have things I can do to kill Vinland later. Hopefully, it just keeps them off my back for a minute. That was a very bloody war. Well, you know what? Yeah, sure, screw it. We'll use the money we got from the Vinlanders to build the Guardian of the Sea Gate, which, oh wow, that's cool. Puts little dudes. You can see the little dudes right there. Awesome. Does that they're not a great project. Oh well. And just like that, we have in one war, but two wars managed to be major European powers and major Elysian powers all at once in a friggin' frantic mess. Jeez. Oh, why does Corellia exist? What the hell is going on in Europe? I'm maybe it is better that I'm staying in Elysia. Maybe it is calmer over here. We also are technically bleeding money because we took over a bunch of colonies. I'm just gonna keep them because I don't want to deal with decolonizing and then letting the Europeans back over. I think that would be a massive mess. You know, I said that they would make it up there to colonize before me as like a joke, but I cannot describe how much I hate you, Finland. It is more like it's an irrational amount of hatred I feel towards them. So what I'm gonna do, I don't have a good place I can cut them off even unless I can colonize faster than them here. So I'm gonna try and do that. But I hate you, Vinland. Baby, let's go. It's going all in on blue. We always bet on blue and it always wins. I'm just saying, every time I've bet, besides the times I've lost, I've always won. So as far as I care, I'm always winning. It's not a gambling fallacy. You're a gambling fallacy. All right, beautiful. From the Acoma people, we're going to take all of this land. Wonderful. Isn't that so much better when it's been made Roman? Great, isn't it? And we're just going to set it all to core and start colonizing on the next one so we can just keep conquering. And we're going to go in on the Apache people, same as we've done to all of the other folks. Just go and say hi with rifle diplomacy. And against the Apache people, we are just going to take their land, their money, and everything recognizable about them, and turn it into a helicopter. Which we don't know what it is yet, but it's going to have a cool name. Also, absolutely horrifying that Spartania, if they really wanted to at any moment, could just come north and absolutely flatten me. They almost outnumber me 2-1, and if they weren't so busy having a death war with Portugal over there, I would be the one in their crosshairs, because I'm pretty sure they want, yeah, all my land. That's great. Yeah, hopefully they succumb to like internal turmoil at some point. Um, I. Beautiful, and we have finally completed our ways through the Appalachian pathway. You can see all those little road symbols, which will give us 20 prestige, 10 legitimacy, and a colonial boom, which is 10% settler chance and 20 plus 20 global settlers for 20 years, which is fine. More importantly, it means we can complete the mission beyond the Appalachians. If you'd like to read it, that is what it says. It will give us the southern of the Elysian Highway, and it will eventually give us. It's essentially just opening up a great project. As far as I understand, it's a little bit complicated, but where can I start it? Yes. So if I was to build it here, I don't know what that's going to do, but it's going to do something. Anyway, that also means we can complete the mission control Andronica because we have a significant amount of control in the area, which means that we get plus 50% power in the Andronica trade node, which is essentially what I consider French Louisiana from the Louisiana Purchase. And we get booming trade, and we unlock the Cahokiat Great Project, and we get a permanent claim on the Andronica region, which is all we basically already own it or have it cut off to the world. But that's nice. That's just more money flowing through to the Bay of Elysia, as well as the Kokia Great Project, which is it's fine. It will give us some trade power, defensiveness, tolerance of heretics, tolerance of heathens, and +1 acceptor culture. That's nice once we do have the money to upgrade it all the way. Lastly, we just need to complete the mission Colonial Ambitions, and then we can start looking inward. Where is Colonial Ambitions? Here it is. We need 50 Diplo power and to build some docks. I can do that. Just give me one moment. And just like that, we have completed Colonial Ambitions, which, if you'd like to read it, that is what it says. It gives us it replaces organized expansion with colonial ambitions, which will give us more colonial range, better global settlement increase, and an extra colonist, as well as our colonial nations in Elysia can now be integrated directly to us if we create any. And more importantly, it completes, or it allows us to complete the looking inward path, which this will lock us out from going and becoming a Roman successor or the British Empire for the time being. Once we become a hegemon, we can pick up a second one. Or once we complete the Promised Land, which is all the way down here, we can also go and pick up a second or even a third one if we really want to get cracked. So, looking inwards, what does this do us? It enables cultural assimilation of all the cultures on the continent of Elysium and Arcadia. It replaces colonial ambitions with homebound ambitions, which will make our colonial range slightly worse because obviously we're focusing on Elysia. It enables the decision an offer they can't refuse, which can be used to peacefully subjugate Viking nations if they have less than 33% of our and our subjects' total development and are trading with us. We gain Unite the Promised Land, cost us belly on any Viking nation holding provinces in Elysium. It reduces war score cost of claim colonial region, peace deal, by 10, and allows it to be used on non-overseas countries. And every province on the continent of Elysium owned by us or by our subjects and will get inward focus, that's written wrong, gets the inward focus modifier, given the following effects: minus 10% dev cost, minus 10% local core creation cost, plus 20 local settler increase, and all provinces in the Elysia area get focus development modifier, effectively upgrading their terrain to farmlands. In other words, everything on Elysia we can colonize faster, we can conquer better, all cultures can be integrated, and we're about to force the Vikings to be our friends. Because can I offer to trade with you again? No, because they are my rival. So if I give a month tick, oh, I'm sorry, and the allied Spartania, you suck, Finland. But on the month tick, when I get my Unite the Promised Land CB, what does that look like? We have show superiority, which makes all of their provinces half cost. And we're going to absolutely deck on them as soon as our treaty goes away in 6 years. That does also mean we're going to have a mass war, and I don't have the men for that, which is a whole different problem. But we will deal with that as we get there. And now let's get to the Pacific Coast. I'm really working on getting to the Pacific Coast. I want to get to the Pacific Coast before I wrap this up. So we are going to deck on the Chinook people for, well, all of their land, of course. Come on. You think we're going to change? No. The good guys only conquer, of course. And against the Chinook people, we will take all of their land. And against the... Who are you? Yakutsk land, we will, or Yakutsk people, we will just make them a vassal. And so ends the long march west. We have finally hit the great calm sea on the other side of the continent. Wow, that was a pain in the ass to get all the way over to California. Like a real trail, like a I don't know, what do you call the Oregon Trail in this timeline? What's a good Roman word for Elysian world word? I suppose we are Elysia. It's a good Elysian word for uh for that in this timeline. Who cares? We have finally made it to the Pacific, to the Sailor Sea. Let me just do some closing things, and then we'll look at wrapping this one up. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So this is where I am going to call our second episode as Elysia. We've fought the Europeans for the first time. Both Portugal and France, literally fought the strongest nation in the world. Well, now we are the strongest nation in the world, actually. That's cool. Although we are flat out of manpower, like to a ridiculous degree. We've also fought the Vinlanders, who I knew they were going to be a massive pain in the ass. And we're kind of sandwiched between Vinland and Spartania now, which is a whole different issue. We've also pretty well shut off the entire East Coast to anyone not welcome in our Elysia. Yes, we have, of course, the Vinland and Spartanian uh, issues, but no one besides them are getting here. And although people may go the long way around what I believe is called Andronica, South America in this world, we have made it to the Pacific coast and completed what is affectionately our Oregon Trail. So Elysia is shaping up to be something. Of course, we are Elysia at the cost of abandoning our Roman heritage, but don't worry. In time, we will go back and take what is rightfully ours. There's still a couple things that definitely need to be dealt with at home. There's a handful of independent tribes existing in our lands that need to be brought to heed the Roman rule or the Elysian rule. There's a Dutch Cuba existing alongside Cladia. And, oh, good. Vinland is in South America, next to Portugal. Yay. So yeah, there's a couple places that need to get tidied up, but we're well on our way to securing at least the northern continent of Elysia until we get to the south and eventually back home. So thank you for your eyes, ears, and time as always, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a lot of fun to record, and again, it's always a pleasure to bring my favorite or one of my it's really close to being my favorite EU4 mod uh, to you. Um, if you could, please comment, subscribe. If you have something that you want to yell about, if you like what I'm doing, if you don't like what I'm doing, just complain, interact. It's always great to have engagement. Otherwise, thank you very much for your eyes, ears, and time. This has been Brown Dog 2, and I am signing out.